Coming up next on Columbus Connection, everybody talks about the problems in the community. We're talking to people who are going to help solve those problems. Stay tuned. Welcome to Columbus Connections. I am your host, David Britt, and welcome to, this is the first show for 2024, so hope that your year is going well. We have already had some issues, if you see in the news. Nothing new. We talk about violence. We talk about lack of education, lack of resources, lack of housing. A lot of people ask, what's going on? What are people doing about it? We are talking to some people who are doing something about the problem with their organizations, with their efforts, with their ways. We're going to hear about it right here. My first guest is no stranger. He is a community leader. He is a man of God. He turned Claflin School around and is working to keep that history alive. I have Reverend Richard Jesse with me. How you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. Excited.
Yes,
Excited
good to have you here.
24, yes, sir.
Good. Now, for those that don't know, Claflin School is a historical school here in Columbus, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
School made for former slaves.
Yeah.
It had many people have gone there. I hear stories of some of the people that raised me, how they had to walk from Bellwood all the way to downtown to Claflin. Yeah. It had closed for a while, and you're part of an organization and a group that brought it back, revived it, and is doing something with it for the community.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about it.
The Friends of Historic Claflin has the charge, the mission of restoring and preserving Claflin School. Established 1868, the first school built for former slaves. Claflin was an active school and moved from segregation to desegregation in 100 years. Claflin closed in 1973, was used for training up until 2006, and then was abandoned, desolate, deteriorated. Homeless folk almost destroyed it. But we were able to get the city to partner with us and a developer, and we put 44 affordable housing units in Claflin. So this is how this historic building will be preserved. It will be sustained.
Gotcha. And with that affordable housing, you're building a community into that. There are programs and things for those residents to help grow the community. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Before the pandemic and when the pandemic hit, we had to shut down. Our nonprofit shut down, so we stopped doing our outreach, community engagement program. But right before it shut down, we had approved a plan to help restore social order. And involved in those who are tenants at Claflin, there's a component that will help parents learn how to teach their children to read. We have a medical arm that once a month there will be a medical unit going there and helping the tenants with their health issues. But more than that, we are planning to turn that community into a neighborhood watch community.
Gotcha.
But Claflin is in the process of picking up where we left off. And what we had planned before the pandemic was to teach the community some important things that will help them to be more secure. So our Project 13 plan has some components in it that we are asking citizens who want to make a difference. That's what I want to ask people. Are you involved in anything that's really making a difference? Are you involved in something that will help turn some things around? And so the components of our Project 13 activity will be involved in encouraging people to practice, teach, and promote the golden rule, doing it to others as you have others doing to you. And just think about it. What if a white supremacist or a black bigot would decide, a hater would decide that I'm gonna treat folk the way I want to be treated. The impact that will have on domestic violence and on other violence. We are calling people to 90 days of fasting and prayer that's starting now. And we're asking them to go without mean and hateful communication one to another. Just try it for 90 days. 90 days without using profanity, to stop cussing for 90 days. 90 days of stop using the N-word and other racial slurs. We believe that dirty language is doing to our spirit what dirty water does to the body. So this is a part of our reformation process.
So you're helping uplift the community on an individual basis, having each
Yes, sir.
individual
Yes,
look
sir.
at what they can do to be better for themselves and for the community as a
That's
whole.
the answer to the problem.
Gotcha.
This is a holistic campaign, so when we individually decide that we're going to do right, when we're going to overcome our bad habits, when we're going to repent of our sin, it would get God's attention.
Gotcha.
And you'll start seeing some of these serious problems that we're having. The nature and the level of wickedness and evil that we are seeing in the world today is going to take a move of God to turn it around. And God will move when we change.
Gotcha.
But this Project 13, we want people who want to make a difference to join us.
Now, if somebody wants to join and wants to help out, how can they contact you?
Right now, I would like for them to just call me, call my number, 706-393-9393. A very easy number. If you call that number, if you would text me your name, your email address, and I will begin sending information. I need 72 people who will commit 4 hours a month to working with us for 12 months.
Gotcha.
And we will make a difference in this community. Immediately, if I can say this,
go ahead.
we'll call in veterans, neighborhood watch people, associate ministers. We got a wonderful plan for associate ministers to be involved in this process. We want to train watchers, monitors, people who can look out for their community. And we're going to train them to be able to do that in a way that makes a difference. So call that number, and we want to just put you to work.
Gotcha.
Give us 4 hours a month for 12 months, and we'll see a difference in Columbus, Georgia.
Gotcha. Because it takes the community to make the community. We'll
Yes,
be
sir.
right back. Don't go anywhere. This is Columbus Connections.
It's that time of year again. Keep Columbus Beautiful is hosting their annual Arbor Day celebration, Saturday, February 17th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Lake Bottom Park. We'll be planting trees and giving away seedlings. There'll also be fun games, music, prizes, and so much more. Join us to celebrate the life of trees. That's Saturday, February 17th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Lake Bottom Park. We'll see you there.
Welcome back to Columbus Connections. We are talking to people who are helping uplift the community, the Tri-City area, and one of the biggest things that you can do to help your community is to vote. Whether you are young, old, we need everyone to exercise their power by voting. We have someone here who is talking to everyone in the community about the importance of voting. Lucas Milton, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Nice to be here with you today,
Welcome
David.
to the show.
Thank you.
Good. Now look, you are, where do I start? You've worked in so many great campaigns. You've been in the New York Times, but you're from right here in Columbus, Georgia.
I am.
And you work with the community to express the importance of voting.
Yes, that is my
Which-
passion. That is my mission.
Yeah.
I'm from Columbus, Georgia. I have friends that have been caught up in the system here who have not flourished to reach to their full potential because their environment didn't nourish it. So I want to use the skills that I have developed abroad, working on different campaigns throughout the United States of America, different movements, to bring that type of change to my hometown so that we can start identifying our problems, converting them to issues, and laying them at the footsteps of the elected officials who could put them on their platforms to make sure that we have change in our community that answers the problems that we have.
Right. Now, when you talk to people who don't get that part, who don't see how their one vote is connected to being at the footsteps of our elected officials, what's the message that you give them to help them understand why it's so important?
Most definitely. I say think about the children. The people who we elect on school board decide what our kids eat at school. They decide what toys and what recreation will be there. They decide the quality of the materials that we use to educate our children. They decide whether or not children who have issues that are stemming from home have those issues properly relayed to the authorities who can actually get them help. And we need to have infrastructure that identifies that we have children that come from plagued communities who need special services. And we need elected officials that understand this. And the only way that they'll understand this if the people use their voice to collectively advocate for what's important to them. Everyone loves the kids. No one wants our children going to schools that don't have good lunches, that don't have good materials, etc. So how about we put our hands on that situation and decide who's on the school board? We put our hands on that situation by making sure that our values are heard. We put our hands on that situation by advocating for solutions to problems, and then we'll see the change we need in our community. So if you don't think about anything else, think about our children.
Right. Now, for somebody watching this who may be turning 18, maybe past 18 and has never voted in their life or never registered, how does someone register to vote?
It's very easy. You can Google it. You go online and you Google register to vote and the state that you live in. Here in the state of Georgia, you can go to the Secretary of State's website and you can register to vote online at any time. There's countless of resources that are verified through just a very, very simple Google search. If you didn't catch that message about the supervisor of elections, just Google it. If not, if you're here in Muskogee County, you can come to the Citizen Services Building and you can get registered here on the second floor where the elections office is. So, but the easiest way to do it is online.
Gotcha. Now, what issues do you see, not so much even political issues, but what issues do you see with the community that you work with here in Columbus that causes people to be apathetic about voting, for them to not want to go out to register, for them to not understand how important it is to go out and vote?
I think it is a combination of a lack of information, disinformation, and lack of hope because of the environment.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easier to say, because I don't have any hope because of what I've seen, because of what I've been through, I'm not going to have any hope that voting for a candidate or dozens of candidates will have any actual change in my community. So it's easy to say, no, I'm just going to focus on my favorite TV show, get the drink I like from the store, and just enjoy life instead of getting all bent out of shape about things that we may or may not be able to change. And then there's misinformation and disinformation. You have candidates that will give information that is only good for getting them elected or getting someone not elected. They're not getting information to them that says, hey, this is how you use the system of politics to actually change what's going on in your community. These are the people who have the power to make change. This is what it takes to get them to make change. Are you willing to take that step and do that work? People do not understand that the fourth level of government is the people. We hear about the executive, the judicial, and the legislative, but the people ultimately have the power to stand up and say, we don't like this, and then we could turn that machine of government on to work for ourselves, only if we harness enough energy by coming together and having one collective voice.
Wow. Now, if people want to contact you, have you speak, help you, work with you, how can they get in touch with you?
Oh, that's very, very easy. You can contact me via email at lucas@mozzieaction.org. Again, that is lucas@mozzieaction.org. Mozzie is spelled Mazii, action.org. Or you can reach me on Facebook. Luke Melton is what I go by on Facebook. Everyone's on Facebook here in Columbus. So that's a really, really easy way for people to get in touch with me.
Gotcha. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you for having me.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's that time of year again. Keep Columbus Beautiful is hosting their annual Arbor Day celebration, Saturday, February 17th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Lake Bottom Park. We'll be planting trees and giving away seedlings. There'll also be fun games, music, prizes, and so much more. Join us to celebrate the life of trees. That's Saturday, February 17th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Lake Bottom Park. We'll see you there.
Welcome back to Columbus Connections. We are talking about issues within the community and people who are working to fix them. Now, when we talk about violence, one thing that is sometimes left out of the conversation is the trauma and the impact on mental health that is left with the victims and also with those who commit what they have experienced that leads them to commit such crimes. We have two gentlemen that work in the mental health industry, and they're going to talk about handling those issues. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hey,
Thank you.
thank
for
you.
having us.
Yes.
Give us your names and give us your titles and what you represent and why you're here.
Okay, I'm Dr. Ogletree, and I'm a licensed professional counselor. And we're go ahead. Dan.
I'm Daryl Carter, and I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Georgia and Alabama.
Gotcha. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Now, mental health and working on and improving mental health is not a new topic, but it is one that is often misunderstood and overlooked, especially with the issue with violence and how it affects our community. Why do y'all think that it gets so overlooked? And it's such a big thing, but people often don't consider it.
One of the things is that it's not diagnosed, you know, and especially if it started at a younger age, you know, especially in high school where you have kids having some mental health issues that are happening at the home, and some of it may be genetics, you know, so it's, the parent may also have some mental health problems.
We often hear, you know, this generation, what's wrong with this generation? These kids are going crazy. When I was that age, they were talking about my generation. Are these things generation specific, or is it just representative of a younger group of people, or what are some of those key things that cause some of the issues that we're seeing?
Well, I think a lot of it goes back, especially in our African American community. You know, when I was coming along, my mom used to tell me, well, we're not going to put our dirty laundry in the street, so to speak. So a lot of that, as Dr. Ogletree said, went misdiagnosed because it wasn't talked about. It was almost like it was a taboo. Nobody wanted to, quote unquote, address the elephant in the room. And that became a problem. So now, for example, a child is forced to deal with coping with these different issues on their own when there's no guidance or direction to help them do it in a positive manner. And so therefore, that's why mental health is so important.
Right. One of the other things is substance-induced psychosis. Well, they drug-induced, right? So the child or the adult start using as substances as a coping skill. And that has a lot to do with the mental health issues. And one of the programs that we have at Project Rebound, one we established it in the community, is the mental health and substance abuse therapy that we're going to provide in the community through the program that we started in here in the community.
Wow. Now, sometimes those who need the most help get the least help. How do you get it out to those people who need this type of help, who need this type of support, and how do they, you know, stick with it and help and work to help themselves through it?
Well, Darren and I both are working in these projects that we're having going right now. And we're also working with the churches and the communities. And we're going to have people in those churches that the people in the community, because we're a community outreach program, that can tell the member that's in that church that we're going to delegate as the person that's over that area, and delegate, tell us who needs help, and they'll go to them first, and they'll come to our program, and we'll help them. Now that's how working through the churches in the community.
Right, and just as Dr. Ogletree said, with this, it's all hands on deck. It takes a village to raise a child, and that's what we have to come back to. Those same morals that we had back when our forefathers was here, you know, that we have to be responsible for our communities and take charge of our communities and fix the things the issues that we see are wrong in the community.
Yeah.
Right. And some of the problems that we may, that the families are already having, we're talking about and giving some assistance and help with that also, improving that families to persevere, and that ministry that we have, the Family Preservation Ministry, who are at risk are already experiencing some of these problems that we're talking about right now. We want to work with those as well, that are already having problems. One of the things we said, this ministry will help to strengthen and persevere families who are at risk or already experiencing problems in their family functioning.
Gotcha. Now, to someone who may be watching this and has never dealt with mental health issues or never sought help for dealing with mental health issues, and they say, I don't want to tell anybody all my business, I don't see how that's going to help me sitting on somebody's couch, I don't think that's for me, that's for somebody else. What would you say to somebody that's just coming in that needs that help? What could they expect, or how would they expect that help to go?
Well, I would simply say that don't knock it until you try it, because until we address those issues or we address the issues that are needed, in that child or in that family dynamic, that the issue's still going to be there. And so if the issue's still going to be there, what good would it be to just sit there and be quiet about it? It's not going to do any good. It's not going to get fixed unless mental health counseling comes into that firm and to see that family can, move forward without those barriers and those issues in the way.
Gotcha. Now, you all have a town hall coming up. Let's talk about that. Tell me a little bit about the town hall.
Well, this town, last week we were at Revelations
Missionary
Church.
Baptist Church.
Right. This week we'll be at Peace Baptist Church, starting at 12 o'clock Saturday.
So, and what date is that?
That date would be this is the day.
The 10th.
The 10th.
Right.
Yes. The
And
10th.
that's located on 8th Street, down the street from Carver High School.
Gotcha.
Right.
So that's at Greater Peace.
Greater Peace, and we're asking all the churches in that area and around to send a representative to that meeting. Yeah, to that meeting.
Tell us again when, where, what time it's going to be?
That would be February the 10th,
Right, February 10th. I think it's at
12 to 2.
12 to 2,
Right,
exactly.
12 to 2.
Gotcha. And will there be more meetings and more things coming up
Yes.
from you all?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
How can people find out about it? Where can they go?
We're going to post something on the Project Rebound Facebook site, and just stay tuned because Dr. Hood has his radio show on Thursdays, and he also announces the upcoming meetings.
Gotcha. Now, one thing I heard you both say is that a lot of these issues are generational. And a lot of these issues come from things that have been ongoing for quite some time that may have been kept hidden or kept in the family. If somebody's watching this and they need that help and they just need to make that first step, what's that first step that they need to do?
Well, reach out to us. I can be reached through email at Darryl.Carter, DARRYL.Carter, CARTER, the number 4 at gmail.com, or you can call 706-570-8698, and I'll be happy to help you.
Right. As well, you can call 706-221-4830. That's Project Rebound, and we'll put you in touch with someone that can help you. They either be Darryl and myself or some other people, professionals that are working with us.
Gotcha. Many people ask what's going on in the community and why isn't somebody doing anything to help. So many people are doing so many great things to help. So if you want to be part of the solution, reach out to some of these organizations and some of these people that you've seen on the show today, because they are working and we need your help to work with us too. Thanks for watching. This is Columbus Connections.